Dr. Emily Pro is the regional medical director, and she says that in this South Texas region, which goes as far as Webb County and covers 18 other counties, they have no confirmed cases of the coronavirus.
Well, our Luis Barrio spoke with the regional medical director and the Webb County Sheriff's Office on the kinds of preventative measures in place. Luis.
According to the State Health Services, there are no confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the South Texas region. The Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta handles the majority of the cases, but there are labs in Texas that can test for the disease. As for the closed, tight setting at the county jail, it's a topic that commissioners are worried about.
The sports community has been a little quiet, especially here locally.
Yeah, so we've been talking with players, coaches, athletic directors, just about, what the plans are. Obviously, UIL has shut everything down for the next 2 weeks, but they are talking about what they will do on March 30th. So coming up after the break, folks, we'll let you know exactly what the athletic directors are doing, meetings that they're having, and this is what it looks like with sports, with fans not in the stands. We do have some highlights coming up after the break. The professional league that the Tecolotes play under, the Mexican Baseball League, announced late Saturday night that the remainder of the preseason games are canceled and the start of the season has been delayed until May 11. The league is celebrating its 80-year anniversary in 2020. The Tecolotes are the only team that plays in the U.S. and Mexico. Opening day was scheduled for April 7 in Nuevo Laredo, and the following day was here at Unitrade Stadium. We're monitoring any changes that come about. And as for our local school districts, we've reached out with all three athletics directors of United ISD, Laredo ISD, and St. Augustine. The Alexander boys soccer team did have a scheduled game Saturday here in town at 11 a.m. versus Eagle Pass. They were ready to go and willing to play, but
I know you've been standing by. You're standing by over there because we, too, are practicing social distancing, but I know you've got more on what happened with the season there.
Yeah, so coming up after the break, we're going to show you just how much traffic flow that they actually get and why the attempt to curve it really puts it into perspective as to why we need to shut down these large gatherings. That's coming up right after the break. Boys and Girls Clubs of Laredo, through its sports division, oversees more than 10,000 kids through 4 different sports. Some of those sports start in November with volleyball and flag football. During the week of spring break, the basketball season would be wrapping up the regular season and starting playoffs. They had 488 teams signed up with just under 6,000 kids playing this season. The only major sporting event that is yet to be postponed or suspended for 2020 is the NFL, and the biggest sporting event next to the World Cup, the Summer Games and Paralympic Games, which are hosted by Japan this summer. Yes, it is still scheduled to go. However, today the International Olympic Committee bended slightly, announcing that they will give themselves a deadline. Vote was done by voice rather than in person to avoid unnecessary travel amid the times of the coronavirus. But with the threat of ordering a full roll call for the vote by one other representative, Congressman Henry Cuellar and others had to make the trip to Washington last minute to have a full quorum just in case.
It was surreal.
The Laredo Regional Food Bank has been working towards its goal of distributing 2,500 food boxes to the community. By the end of this week, they'll reach half their goal. Currently, their food supply is lower than what their full capacity holds. It's at 20%. And with what they currently have, they tell us that they can keep up with their weekly distributions for about another 2 weeks before they run out. In some shape or form, we've all had to adjust to the current state of things due to COVID-19. Selena Chavez Trevino is an indoor cycling instructor and also an esthetician who co-owns a local facial clinic. 2 big parts of her life remain shut down for the time being, like many. In spite of that, she's been committed to making the best of it by thinking outside the box. She says that's all we can do at this point. As part of the executive orders signed by Governor Greg Abbott on Friday to gradually reopen parts of the state, the earliest openings begin Monday, where Texas state parks will begin allowing the public to come in a limited capacity. People still need to keep their distance, wear their face masks, and have no more than 5 people in a crowd. Some state parks are the exception, and that list does include Lake Casablanca.
Luis Barrio brings us the details. Luis.
Dr. Victor Trevino has been a medical advisor to the City Health Department, and he recommended today that this study of asymptomatic patients, which will come from the general public at random, be used as a tool for giving better medical advice, as well as give a better view of where the community stands. Then the idea expanded from members of council to test at the border as well as test first responders, police, and firefighters.
Random testing of the population? Is that what you're asking for?
That's correct.
Is now a good time to buy a home?
Definitely. It is time to buy a home.
In sports, success on the field boils down to preparation, timely decisions, and adjusting on the spot if the original game plan is not working. The coronavirus has taken away the ability to play sports, as health and safety are the top priority. But for LISD Athletics Director Sylvia Barrera, it's not going to take away the ability to still cheer for their athletes. For the time being, playing sports is on hold.
One of the hardest things I've ever had to do is tell the boys that the season was over.
And with spring athletics like baseball being on the unlucky end of the timing of the coronavirus, the season was lost, but this week gave new reason to celebrate. And players still had a crowd to cheer them on. A virtual golf clap will do. This is home video of Ashley Peña's signing room with just her family present.
Awesome, congratulations.
She and senior teammate Alyssa Mata shared the virtual space as they will both play at Iowa Lakes College. More than 35 of the Nixon family coaches, teammates, close at heart.
I was overwhelmed, many mixed emotions. Super nervous, excited, sad at the same time. I'm going to be leaving far from home.
Once the signature was signed, a phone call between player and coach.
Ashley actually called me right after, and we did a picture where she was holding me on the FaceTime and a picture side by side that way. We found ways to make it work.
Like a well-executed double play, a pair of Nixon players, Jackson Alaniz, signing to play at Cerro Coso Community College in California, and teammate TJ Rogerio signed on to play at Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio, had their run support too.
It was different, instead of waking up earlier than for school or something like that, like to get dressed and everything, I just had to get dressed in a matter of 10 minutes. So it was different, but it was a blessing also because at least I had my teammates there, most of all.
Even though how much I would have liked to done it at school, the virtual signing was enjoyable, and it's one I'll never forget.
To be able to celebrate their accomplishments and honor their commitments to their programs and to their district, that's something that we value and we cherish, and so we wanted to make sure that we maintain that.
Technology has allowed us to stay connected on a personal level, but Coach Barrera says the silver lining in all of this has been people's ability to find creative ways to still stay connected. Selena Chavez Trevino is part owner of Noni's Skincare Clinic, and for the last year, she's also been an instructor at Casa Yoga for indoor cycling classes. Both have taken major hits. She is still able to ship out skin products today through distributors, but no more business inside.
So when things started to get more uncertain, we didn't really know, so it was best to be safe. We decided to close the doors. And it was hard. Since
no gatherings of more than 10 people are allowed and exercise is limited to what we can do inside or just outside of our homes, a virtual session seemed right.
So I do have a bike in a little gym that we have here, and through little chat groups, friends and I have discussed how much we're missing our activity, and so we got together, all little chat groups, and just started doing classes together.
Brenda Martinez is one of the ladies that is part of the virtual indoor cycling session. She says it's been a great idea.
It's wonderful. We really enjoy it. It's nice to be able to see all of us are exercising, but we're still socializing, but keeping that social distance. And we're still in quarantine, but we don't feel alone, and so it's really made a very big difference.
Trevino says for the last 3 weeks, the group virtually gets together about 3 to 5 times a week, sometimes twice in one day. Just one example of Laredo trying to pedal to the metal towards progress.
Whether it's in our cycling or whether we're running, finding ways to stay connected.
For KGNS News, Luis Barrio. Dr. Victor Trevino brought in a proposal at City Council which got approved that would expand COVID-19 testing, and he requested that this study be done on at least 100 asymptomatic patients from the general population.
What's our feel for the whole community? And this way we know if these are positive, does not necessarily all of those are sick. And those that we test, we can even do immunoglobulin testing to find out if they're immune or not immune.
With the tests available to the city, random testing would only be able to read if a person is immune, not the severity of immunity. Then, Mayor Pro Temp Alberto Torres Jr. proposed that this study include pedestrians coming into the U.S. from Mexico if they choose to be a part of it.
We could set shop in our city limits and people crossing, and if they voluntarily want to get tested, we can have a sample of the people coming in through our bridges and seeing if that indeed is causing any more spread or puts Laredo at higher risk.
Also included in the motion, the testing of first responders, firefighters, and police based off of who's most susceptible. This will come at the discretion of the medical staff.
That would be another thing I'd like to propose, that we need to test the firefighters and the policemen and all the public servants that deal directly with people.
This testing based off a tier system of susceptibility will include El Metro bus riders. City Council hopes to hear what the data from the study will be by the next City Council meeting. The city medical staff will do this, but it will not be at the cost of patients who are showing symptoms. Reporting for KGNS News, Luis Barrio.
Thanks a lot, Luis.